Hey guys, Ashley here, episode 210. Today we're going to talk about DragLoon and Classic Dragon attacks, how to become a surgical dragon or DragLoon attacker at Town Hall 8. So there's two type of main dragon strategies, right? You can alter your troops a little bit, but they still revolve around two fundamental attacks. One is the classic DragLoon. Your spells are going to be 2 rage and 1 heal, or just 3 rages. Your troops are going to be 9 to 10 dragons and 5 to 10 balloons. A little flexibility in that last spot. Your number 2 is going to be the classic dragon with the 2 air defenses, meaning 3 lightnings will take 1 air defense out initially. Troops are going to be 10 to 11 dragons with 1 flex spot if you choose to use it. We'll go over that in the second 2 replays of this episode. So let's get right into these first replays by Taney from Clash with Ash clan. Strategically, you want to deploy 2 dragons to cut off any possible side alleys in the point of attack. So in this attack, the point of attack is going to be the northeast side of the base. So you can see Taney does a good job at deploying those 2 dragons, cutting off those side units before he deploys the mass herd of dragons coming in, as I said, from the northeast. Now these dragons are going to move their way through the base in almost a blanket formation. So they're just going to slowly but surely make their way through the base. You can see in any DragLoon attack, it is absolutely critical to deploy your dragons before your balloons, and you always want to engage the base in the DragLoon at the point where you're facing 2 air defenses instead of just 1. Now don't be afraid to overlap those rage spells. Strategy key, we want to focus on that. Oftentimes on ground attacks and hog attacks or other popular Town Hall 8 attacks especially, you don't really want to overlap your spells, but with dragon attacks, I wouldn't say it's the end of the world to overlap your spells just a little bit, because dragons are so slow moving and sometimes they need that extra help both on their DPS and their actual movement speed, so don't be afraid to overlap a little bit. Now using the king during a DragLoon attack is primarily towards the end of the raid, and you want to use him for either cleanup duty if it's a time issue, or if there's possibly an air targeting defensive unit towards the outside of the base. You could actually send that king in there and distract it and get it down before the dragons attack. You'll actually see that come into play in this attack. Once again, Taney's going to come in, this time from the southeast, and he's going to do the same type of thing, cutting off those side alleys. Very, very important so your dragons don't go off course. Once those 4 side units, I think gold mines, are off the board, now you can bring the herd in. And you always, like I said, want to deploy those balloons after the dragons. Let the dragons take the brunt of that damage, and then allow your balloons to eat that rage up and hopefully go towards those air defenses. Now here comes an opposing dragon in the clan castle. That's really not a big deal. Clan castle, not a huge deal in these attacks. The dragons will easily take them out. So a discussion point we want to talk about is, where do I attack the base from, right? So, like I mentioned, even kind of, you can see that Taney, what he does here is he ignores the air sweeper. So the first thing you want to look for when attacking the base is where you can hit 2 air defenses at the initial first 50% of the attack. You want to go into a base. They're obviously forming some sort of a triangle formation or a line formation. You want to at least try to engage 2 right off the bat. You can see here the dragons are making their way into the base, and look at this, the Barbarian King spotlight, a perfect placement. There was 1 still air defense standing, and Taney went ahead and dropped that Barbarian King, snuck him in there through the south. That way the dragons wouldn't have to deal with that on their way back towards the town hall back home. So that was a really nice Barbarian King placement there. That's the type of thing you want to plan ahead of time with your Barbarian King. Don't just go ahead and place him willy-nilly in the beginning of the attack if you think you might need him later on. Now we're going to get into the second strategy. Using the lightning spell. No rages here. So there's no rage, there's no heal. So you want to be very careful. Once again, you're going to engage the base at a point where you only have to deal with 2 of the air defenses. You always kill the far air defense with the lightning spell. Now, the lightning spells. Now, I talked about the flexibility of the clan castle in all these attacks. Now, you can see the attacker here, I don't know his name, from a Japanese clan, I believe, chose to use a P.E.K.K.A. So sometimes you can bring a P.E.K.K.A. in the clan castle if you want to. Bring a max P.E.K.K.A. if you feel there's a lot of outlying units to take care of. Here we go. The dragons, once again, he cleared away an alley just like Taney did in the attacks previous. This time there's just no rage to help the dragons go through the base, so it's just going to be a little bit of a slower moving attack. But hopefully you've taken care of that that far side air defense, and you can engage the first air defenses right off the bat. Now you will notice that there were some no balloons in this attack, rather just the P.E.K.K.A. in the clan castle. So he was very confident, this attacker, that his dragons would actually be able to get those 2 air defenses on the northeast edge of the base, since they weren't really pushed in towards the interior. Now I would recommend that if the air defenses are based even more into the interior, maybe in the center of a more spread out base, I would still recommend bringing a few balloons rather than the P.E.K.K.A. in this attack. But you can see the attacker felt confident he wouldn't need those balloons, so he went ahead and brought the P.E.K.K.A. for help on the outside units. P.E.K.K.A. kind of broke through and took down a couple of the air targeting defensive units, so it really wasn't a total waste. But me personally, I think I prefer the balloons in the clan castle. They can help take out those air defenses. Now you can see another 3-star attack by this attacker. Very nice attack. One more replay for you guys. Same attacker again, just wanted to cover a more spread out base. This time he's actually going to use balloons in the clan castle, and once again, as I said before, he engages the base into 2 air defenses. So he's engaging into the air defenses. He cut off the side alleys. He has the mass blanket of dragons coming in through the southeast side. This time he drops the Barbarian King a little early. Like I said before, me personally, I would prefer to wait a little bit longer. But as the strategy key I did mention in one of the first replays is, or the second replay I think, is he did wait to deploy those balloons until all the defenses were targeting those dragons. That allows those balloons to not only soak up all those traps, but also get both of those air defenses down for the attacker. Now when both of those air defenses are down and he still has, 6 or 7 dragons alive on the map, that's a really good sign. Even those Teslas and Archer Towers, you don't have to panic with those units being up against dragons. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here in a second, and you'll just see how slowly those Teslas bleed into that dragon. They're actually not, he was already really low on health, but they're actually not damaging him so fast. The dragons actually move faster than the Teslas and the Archer Towers can take them down. So once you have 4 dragons, like the case in this attack, up, and only 1 Wizard Tower and an Archer Tower, you know you've got the attack in the bag. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the strategy keys for dragon attacks at Town Hall 8. Some of the same keys can be applied to Town Hall 7 as well. You obviously just don't have the 3 spells. So guys, I hope you enjoyed these videos. Please share with your clanmates, comment, and subscribe. Take care, guys.